Hey everyone, Raptorspank here, and it's been a little while since we've done one of these, but we're chasing the premiums this time around by opening a box of Tales of Aria for Flesh and Blood. This is the new set that came out, and this is a first edition box, so for those of you who are unfamiliar with it, the difference with first edition is that there are some premium foils called cold foils. Now, it's very unlikely we get more than one per box, but if we do, that will be incredibly exciting. But there should be one in the box. Now, it is possible for us to get serious whiffs and not find a single one, but there should be one cold foil in the box at least. Now, what those are is that any kind of equipment can be a cold foil. So there'll be rainbow foils that are kind of rainbow colored, and then the cold foils are etched a different way, so they're really different looking, and there'll be some sort of equipment, or there'll be a legendary or a fable. Any legendary, that it only comes in a foil version, so that foiling will be a cold foil. And in the case of Fabled, if we somehow pull Korshem, that will also be a cold foil, which is the only non-equipment, I believe, in the set that could be that. Now, also with first editions, I believe there are alternate artworks of the different channel cards. Now, it's also unlikely we pull one of those, because I think they're about as rare as a Fabled card, not 100% sure, but those will be alternate art and really sick looking if we find one of those, so that would also be a really great hit. But this will be my first time opening a box of first edition. I have done a pre-release for Tales of Aria at this point, so I have opened packs of first edition. I've opened a ton of Monarch packs of first edition. I've never gotten a cold foil out of a pack. I do own a couple of cold foils, so I know what they would look like, but I've never actually pulled one myself out of a pack. So hopefully we don't get the serious bad luck and get none. And as long as that's the case, then I will finally have pulled one. So that'll be really, really exciting. And this is definitely a set I'm looking to play with. I definitely have some pauper ideas in mind for it that James and I will be diving deeper into. So definitely interested in the commons as well, but we didn't do a score sheet this time around. I don't know if people really enjoyed that about the last video or not, but Crucible of War, I kind of had a more solid idea of what I wanted to get out of the set. Whereas with Tales of Aria, I'm really just kind of here for the show at this point. I just want to see what the different cards are, pull that sweet cold foil. I don't really have a particular angle in mind or certain cards that I'm looking for particularly, but there's a good chance I will want most of these commons, so getting a number of them will be really, really good. Alright, pack 1 then. Let's see how easy these are to open. Not bad. Not bad at all. So, diving in, we're starting off with a Frostbite token. Very exciting. Frostbite with, Lexi, young Lexi, nice. So we'll put those over into the tokens, and we'll get started here. So we have Invigorate for commons, so we'll kind of speed through the commons here. Commons, and our first rare is a Weave Ice, which is, pretty sweet. And we have a Majestic right off the bat with Flash Freeze, so that's really, really awesome. And then a foil Lightning Press, which is a foil rare, so that is a pretty sweet start to the box. And a Ragamuffins hat, which is cool for Pauper. It's definitely a very good hat to keep in mind for Pauper. Now, the reason I have this one in mind is that unlike Hope Merchants, basically what Ragamuffins does, if I can get it to focus at all, but basically what it does is it lets you, if you have only one card in your hand, you can draw a card and then put one of the cards in your hand on either the top or bottom of your deck. Now, you can only do it when there's only one card in hand, so it's not an auto-include into generic hat pauper decks. But, so like, for example, since it's only one card left in hand, you're still going to go Hope Merchants for, like, Dash. But a lot of decks ran Hope Merchants just because if you have no other utility hat, that's just kind of the best generic one for most decks. But Ragamuffins is a little bit better to most decks. It's just because Dash is kind of building this crazy combo thing. Hope Merchants is actually a bit better because you don't have to be down to one card. Because once you're at one card, that's kind of never when you want to crack the hat, and you don't want to break the chain with... Well, I guess it's an instant, so it doesn't really break the chain. But yeah, either way, Ragamuffin's very neat hat. We're quite happy to get that. And we're getting some pretty sweet comments just in general that I think will be fairly solid for Pauper as well. Alright. On to pack 2. Trying to get better at opening these. Starting to get there. Crucible of War was some of the most brutal packs to open, though. And they did have the packs done just a little bit different, so that's probably why. Titan's Fist and Embodiment of Lightning. Alright. Well, Titan's Fist is really, really solid, and embodiments are. Certainly, Embodiment of Lightning is something I am interested in, because I am very interested in building Briar, for example. Alright, and moving through the commons, and we have our first rare, which is Flash, which is really, really sweet. Especially for the Rune Blade, but any of the Lightning heroes really like this sort of thing. And let's see, so that's Flash. I suppose I should have foil rares in a different spot. Summerwood Shelter, and our foil is Entwine Earth. Neat. It's actually a pretty cool foiling with Entwine Earth. So, but it is a pauper card, so that's gonna go over here. Actually, we'll put foil commons in their own spot, and then this will be foil rare and above, and we'll have rares and majestics over here, so I should move Flash Freeze over into the majestic pile. Alright, and then Amulet of Ice, not that crazy. Stir the Wildwood is really good, and definitely going to be used in a number of... Oh, and Singeing Steelblade is really, really strong too. So this is actually just a great pauper card for Rune Blade now, period. Like, this is better than Arcanic Crackle, which I have Arcanic Crackle in Viscerai, so I'm going to almost certainly replace that with Singeing Steelblade instead, because it's more likely to force damage through, since Arcanic Crackle only does 3 damage and Singeing Steelblade does 4, so it's much harder to block it. But some people could probably explain it even better than me on that one, but certainly it's something where... Ooh, Oldheim. Oldheim and another Frostbite. It's something where Singeing Steelblade is just more likely to pull value than other things. Ooh, Lightning Surge is really sweet, and Entwine Lightning, Shock Striker, and Weave Earth is our first rare. And then we have Icequake, another rare. And our foil is... Frazzle. Pauper 1. Oh wait, that's rare. Alright. That in our Pauper. Amulet of Lightning, Frazzle. I do actually think Amulet of Lightning has some potential to be used in a Pauper Briar deck, because it is a really great way, because it's an action, a non-attack action that has Go Again on it already, and it allows you to give Go Again to other things as long as you can get Lightning Fusion. But it does seem a lot harder to get good fusion synergies going in Pauper, so that may be a slight concern for stuff like that. On to the next pack. We have Frostbite and Briar. Alright, well, we've gotten every young hero now. Sweet. Shock Striker, Icy Encounter, Rejuvenate. Rejuvenate's a very interesting card that I think might have some potential. Break Ground, which is common, and Bramble Spark, and then we have Embolden as our first rare, which is Guardian Action Aura, pretty sweet, and Blizzard, so our second Majestic, and we have another icy sort of one. I mean, Flash Freeze is an elemental action instead, but Blizzard, not bad, and a foil Icy Encounter, so another foil common, I think, right? Yeah, that's a common. Ooh, a Rotten Old Buckler, that's pretty sweet. I love that they added shields now. Ooh, Rite of Replenishment is a really good pauper card, so certainly one of the ones, and Arcanic Shockwave, that I was very much looking for to build Briar, and I'm definitely going to try to build Oldheim as well, because I haven't built Guardian yet for Pauper, and I think prior to this set, Guardian was in a pretty bad spot for Pauper, so Oldheim definitely has added a lot of good things for Guardian, especially if you are going to play him and get access to the elemental cards as well. Alright, another Embodiment of Lightning. And flip side is Embodiment of Earth. So it's a Briar token. Right, Ball Lightning's really sweet. Burgeoning Entwine. I actually think Entwine Earth has some place too in Pauper because it is a really, really strong attack with some fusion synergies. Our first rare is Turn Timber. And then we have Evergreen. Right, and our foil. Ooh, that's pretty sweet, Heaven's Claw. Not a particularly great card, but ooh, Mark of Lightning. So Lightning Pauper equipment, really, really sweet. And Overflex is an insanely great addition to Pauper because this single-handedly makes Ranger substantially better than Stir the Wildwood is one of the best cards you could get, as well as Bramblespark for a Pauper Briar deck. But yeah, Overflex is one of the things Ranger needed the most because it pumps your spells, which is really, really awesome. But the important thing is it reloads, so you can fire an arrow, and then you can play Overflex, putting another arrow in your quiver and then also boosting it with the top part. So it's a really, really great way for Pauper Rangers to be able to do multiple things a turn. Rosetta Thorn and a Seismic Surge. Nice. Rosetta Thorn, I think a lot of people are starting to think might actually be an insanely powerful weapon for Runeblade, probably because of that one cost. Now, so tomorrow, Winter's Bite, Invigorate, Electrify, Electrify Sweet, 2 yellow ones. That's funny. Sigil of Suffering. I love this card, although sadly it is not Pauper, so I can't use it in my Pauper decks. And Bolt and Shot, so the Ranger rare. And we have a foil Weave Ice. That's really sweet looking. Can't really catch it well, but yeah, that is a really sweet foil, and that's another foil rare. Ooh, Crackerjack, so generic arm equipment. Sadly, the arm equipments are all very... Ooh, Red Singeing Steelblade is insanely good for Pauper. Crackerjacks, unfortunately, is a really cool-looking piece of equipment, but what it does is pretty negligible compared to what other gloves can do, so you're probably better off with a more specialized glove for your hero in Pauper than Crackerjacks, but it's certainly not a bad one if you're just throwing a Pauper deck together with your collection. And who knows, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's even better than I thought. Titan's Fist and Embodiment of Lightning again. So, alright. Earthlore. I'm very happy about Earthlore Surge because I think this is a very big key to like an incredibly powerful Pauper Runeblade deck, and also probably goes well in Oldheim as well. Alright, and our first rare is another copy of Lightning Press, not foil this time, and we have Snapshot, which is really, really sweet. And our foil is, ooh, Rites of Replenishment. As I mentioned, this is insanely good if you're going to be building Pauper Briar. I think this is one of the best cards available to her, so getting a foil one is very sweet. Definitely something I'd like. And Code of Frost as well. Really, really sweet Pauper card. This is a great utility card, I think, for both Lexi and Oldheim, because there is so much room in the sideboard for utility cards. I think Code of Frost is really great if you're going to be playing an ice hero and need to be more controlling in a certain matchup. So, really, really sweet. Buzzbolt, more rights, Snow Wonder, Blizzard Bolt, Inspire Lightning. Inspire Lightning I'm not sure about, but it can do a lot of arcane damage, which out of Runeblade is actually potentially pretty interesting, since it's more something you expect to come out of a wizard. But it does require you to jump through a lot of hoops to make that happen, and it doesn't have Go Again, so I'm not so sure it's a great card, but it might be something worth considering. Oop, another Rosetta Thorn. Nice. Again, this is a really, really good Runeblade weapon that may actually replace some of the staples like Nebula Blade, so this is actually a really, really good token to get a number of copies of. And another Seismic Surge on the other side. Lightning Surge, Polar Blast, Entwine Lightning, Autumn's Touch, Strength. And our first rare is Frost Fang. And then we have another Weave Ice, not foil this time, but oh well. And Chilling Ice Vein, another Pauper foil. And this one's actually probably something you'd see play in a Lexi deck, but I haven't actually gotten into brewing her yet. But I do think this is a card that would see play. Amulet of Ice, Dazzling Crescendo, ooh, a red Arcanic Shockwave, awesome, and a blue Glacial Footsteps. Those are both cards I'm very interested. Ooh, red Stir as well. All of those cards are really, really good for a Pauper deck. I think Glacial Footsteps is going to be a pretty big keystone of an Oldheim deck because of how much damage they can do. So definitely excited to get a copy of that. And we have another Titan's Fist right off the bat. So Titan's Fist, and other side, Ooh, an old adult Briar. Nice. That's our first adult hero, I think. Shock Striker, Icy Encounter, Rejuvenate, Break Ground, Entwine Earth, and our first rare, Rites of Lightning. Really sweet. This is almost certainly an auto-include in any competitive Briar deck, so that's really sweet in general. And ooh, Majestic Briar Specialization. That's what we like to see. I am very excited to play her. She actually... she was the hero I was least interested in prior to playing the pre-release, but she did really well in the pre-release due to fairly poor balance in the sense of, like, there's not many ways to deal with arcane damage. But after having played her too, I think I was underselling her in general because she can block for a ton with very few cards thanks to her embodiment of Earth. So, ooh, another foil rare with Sigil of Suffering. It's actually a better foil than I expected it to be. So that's pretty sweet. Honing Hood, awesome. This is an auto-include in Pauper Ranger decks. Very excited about that. And we got Thump, Frazzle, Bramble Spark, again, really, really good. Bramble Spark is definitely an auto-include in any Pauper Briar deck, because this is a big way of how she can do crazy amounts of arcane damage. So definitely a card that you're going to want to include at least the blue and probably the red. And again, it is a non-attack action, so it's really good for triggering her. And finally, we got the other weapon from the set. We have Shiver, which is really, really good, because if you ever want to build a Pauper Ranger deck, Shiver is up there. Death Dealer is really, really good because it draws you cards, but Shiver's ability to either boost the arrow or give it Dominate is really, really good, especially since a lot of these arrow attacks have really strong on-hit effects. So I think that's going to end up being worth more in the end. Ball Lightning, really good. Chill to the Bone, Stir the Wildwood, and we have our first rare as Weave Lightning. And then we have, Biting Gale. Alright. And our foil is, a foil Electrify, and it's red. Nice, perfect. That is the most likely to be used Electrify. I don't know if it goes into the Briar deck, but this is the one that has the best chance of making it in there. So getting a foil one, very sweet. And another Cracker Jacks. Strength of Sequoia. Ooh, red Overflex. That's what we want. And a red Rights. Man, this is a good pack for Pauper. Tell you that much. Getting close to halfway through the box, and we still have not found our cold foil yet. So hopefully we find that soon, so that we can stop worrying about not finding one. Alright, and we have another Rosetta Thorn. And the other side, Seismic Surge. Alright. Perfect. Shock Strikers, Invigorate, Icy, Break, Sow, and Cold Wave for a first rare. Pretty sweet Lexi card, I think. And another Embolden. And our foil is, a red Inspire Lightning that is foil. That is a sweet foil. I really love wizard cards for their foils. They're some of the coolest foils. And this is exactly why. Because Inspire Lightning captures that same kind of essence of really cool foil lightning. And at a red, this is probably the most likely to see play in Pauper. Again, I'm not convinced by it because the biggest challenge Inspire Lightning has is that you have to fuse a lightning card to trigger this. So you have to do something that fuses lightning and then still have the action point left to play Inspire Lightning plus the resources. So it's kind of hard to pull it off, I have a feeling, outside of the limited experience, but it's definitely a cool card, and it's a lot of arcane damage for a Rune Blade to be able to do. So I think it may be playable, but not convinced yet. We also got the Pauper Rune Blade piece of footgear. I'm not sold on this. I feel like Snapdragon Scaler's still better for Pauper, but really, really neat card. Love the artwork of it. And that also means that now Runeblade has 3 pieces of equipment in Pauper. So if they make a Runeblade gloves that's common, you can actually have a full set of generic Runeblade equipment, which would be kind of cool. Another Inspired, another Overflex. Ooh, an Arcanic Shockwave. It is yellow, which is the most, or least likely to be used, but pretty sweet all the same. On to the last pack of this half of the box. And we're starting off how we started the box. The Frostbite Token, and the other side is, yeah, Young Lexi. Exact same token we had at the start of the box. 5, Singeing Steelblade, and first rare is a Weave Earth. Sweet. Weave Earth is actually really, really strong. Weave Earth, and then we have Explosive Growth, which is also really, really good. And then our foil is an Amulet of Earth, which is a pauper card. I don't know that these amulets are going to see a lot of play. I see some potential for lightning, but I don't really see it with Earth as much. But oh, and there's our cold foil out of the same pack, and it is a Ragamuffin's hat. So Weave Earth, and then we have Explosive Growth, which is also really, really good. And then our foil is an Amulet of Earth, which is a pauper card. I don't know that these amulets are going to see a lot of play. I see some potential for lightning, but I don't really see it with Earth as much. But oh, and there's our cold foil out of the same pack, and it is a Ragamuffin's hat. So Weave Earth, and then we have Explosive Growth, which is also really, really good. And then our foil is an Amulet of Earth, which is a pauper card. I don't know that these amulets are going to see a lot of play. I see some potential for lightning, but I don't really see it with Earth as much. But oh, and there's our cold foil out of the same pack, and it is a Ragamuffin's hat. So Weave Earth, and then we have Explosive Growth, which is also really, really good. And then our foil is an Amulet of Earth, which is a pauper card. I don't know that these amulets are going to see a lot of play. I see some potential for lightning, but I don't really see it with Earth as much. But oh, and there's our cold foil out of the same pack, and it is a Ragamuffin's hat. So Weave Earth, and then we have Explosive Growth, which is also really, really good. And then our foil is an Amulet of Earth, which is a pauper card. I don't know that these amulets are going to see a lot of play. I see some potential for lightning, but I don't really see it with Earth as much. But oh, and there's our cold foil out of the same commons, and Rites of Lightning, another one. Good, good. Rites of Lightning is sweet. Weave Lightning, also very, very sweet. And our foil is Chill to the Bone, which is another pauper card. And it is an ice action, so this one, because it's red, is actually fairly playable. I think this could see some real play in particular, well, realistically speaking, any ice hero. Oldhim and Lexi, if you're going to be more on the controlling end, a red Chill to the Bone is a very, very good way to basically achieve that. And we have another red Overflex and a red light rates of replenishment, so really, really sweet. That's the kind of stuff we're looking for. Alright, will we find any legendaries? So far, as of yet, I've opened 5, 6 boxes, I think, of, let's see, 3 Monarch boxes, an Arcane, I think, right? No, 2 Monarch boxes, Arcane Rising 1, Welcome to Wrath 1, and then 2 Crucible Vor boxes, and I've pulled exactly 1 legendary. So we'll see if I can break that streak, finally find some legendaries, but not necessarily looking great for us yet. Explosive Growth, Weave Earth, and a foil Arcanic Shockwave, and it's a blue one, so very, very usable. So that's pretty sweet. Got another Honing Hood, which is good, because we do definitely want to make Ranger at some point. And another blue Arcanic Shockwave. I suppose I should have put the cold foil with like the foil rares and better. I should have put the cold foil hat in there, because it is certainly at the same value as, or well, probably substantially more than a foil rare. All right, Frostbite and another Young Lexi. Nice. All right, and our rare Flash, another one of those. And then a Summerwood Shelter and a foil Cold Wave. Nice. So we got another foil rare. And again, that's, I think, a pretty good one for Lexi, but I'm not 100% sure. Another Ragamuffin, so we're going to have plenty of those. Chilling Ice Vein, Stir. Thump's actually pretty good for Guardian in general, so this is a really sweet pauper inclusion that they have for the class now, so I'll probably get some play out of that, especially since that one was a high-powered one. Well, we're getting plenty of Rosetta Thorns, which, again, really, really good because it is a generic Rune Blade. Ooh, and an adult Lexi. Nice. It is a generic Rune Blade weapon, so it is usable by all of them. So, first rare, Turn Timber, and then we have Ice Quake, and our foil is a foil Invigorate, which is a blue one, which means it is actually somewhat playable. But I do have a feeling that while this is pauper playable, it's going to be hard to make these work in pauper because fusing may be a lot more difficult when you only have access to commons. So we'll see exactly how that shakes out. But I do have some concerns about that. Another Rites of Replenishment, not bad. Frostbite, and Young Oldheim. Got another one of those then. Sweet. Winter's Grasp, Autumn's Touch, Third Surge, and we have first rare is Embolden. And then we have, ooh, Awakening. I pulled a foil one of this on the pre-release, but there we go. Another Majestic and a sweet little Guardian card for sure. Really powerful because it lets you fetch things, which is always nice. And foil Ball Lightning, blue one too, which I think is actually a highly playable version of it. Nice thing here is it's pauper, it's a lightning ability, it does a lot of things that like Runeblade particularly would like, but it's not bad for Ranger either. It already has Go Again bolted to it, which is awesome, so this is very playable for pauper. And another Coat of Frost, same thing. Overflex, Inspire, Mulch, Blizzard, Arcanic Shockwave, Glacial Footsteps. Alright, getting pretty close to the end of the box. We have this pack plus another, let's see, 6 more. So we're like 3/4 of the way through now. Oh, we have found our first cracked bauble of the box. Yeah, cracked bauble. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and first rare is Bolton Shot, and then we have Evergreen. Foil is a Buzzbolt, which is probably very playable in pauper Lexi deck, so not bad at all. Another Rotten Buckler is sweet, and just a couple of generically pretty good cards. Blue Stir the Wildwood is pretty sweet as well, because Stir the Wildwood is probably going into a Briar deck because it does have so much potential to do a ton of damage, even with low Earth Fusion possibility. Well, we have plenty of Frostbite tokens to go with all the things that create Frostbite. Oh, and another Young Briar. Nice. We have Electrify, Winter's Bite, and our first rare is Sigil of Suffering again. Building up quite a pile of those. And Frostfang, and our foil is, ooh, another foil rare, Weave Earth. That is pretty sweet. Weave Earth is actually probably the one I like the most, because it's very, very universally applicable. Ooh, and our first Deep Blue, which is a nice little generic chess piece. I'm not hugely sold on this. I feel like a lot of generic chess pieces are better than this, but who knows? It might be worth a lot in the end. And another red Bramble Spark is always sweet. Will we find a legendary in the last few packs? It's not looking good for us, I'll tell you that much. Ooh, another Shiver, nice. We haven't gotten many of those so far. And Embodiment of Earth on the other side. We haven't gotten any double-sided heroes either yet. Alright, and our first rare is Lightning Press, another one of those. And Exposed to the Elements, another Majestic, and this is the Earth and or Ice fusion. So it can actually be used by all 3 heroes because it doesn't require one or the other, essentially, because Lexi can use the Ice and Briar can use the Earth, or Oldheim can use both, but pretty neat little equipment hate card that they made in the set. And our foil is Winter's Grasp. Foil Pauper, and Cracker Jacks, another one. And just a handful of other cards. Red Inspired Lightning. Overflex is probably something that in Pauper you'd run all 6 copies of it, so the yellow one there is actually not bad at all, because, again, we'll probably run it in Lexi, but not sure yet. Haven't brewed yet. Another Shiver, and old time adult. I think that was our first one of him, so I think now we've pulled an old adult version of every hero and a young version. And our first rare is Snow Under, not bad. And Snapshot. And our foil is... oh wait, did I just put a... Yeah, I did. Snapshot is our first rare with Biting Gale. And our foil is Dazzling Crescendo. Another Pauper one. Not terrible, though. I do think there's a lot of potential to run that in Lexi, and an Amulet of Lightning. I mentioned already that is pretty good, and so is a Red Arcanic Shockwave and Singeing Steel Blade, so pretty sweet pack for Pauper. Now on to our last 3 packs. How will they go? And we have a Titan's Fist and Embodiment of Lightning. First rare is Cold Wave. Not bad at all. And Rites of Lightning, also really, really good. Another red one. Sweet. Foil is Frostlock, so we have a foil Majestic. Nice. There we go. It's a Ranger Majestic. Really, really sweet card because it is very, very key to Lexi doing some pretty disgusting damage as far as control is. So foil one, very, very sweet. And a Plume of Evergrowth, which is awesome because it is an Earth Hat. So that is something that Oldhim may actually run. Unfortunately, I don't think it's something that Briar will run because Briar has access to Crown of Dichotomy, but it is cool that they added a new utility hat for at least Oldhim to benefit from. And again, I still don't even know if that's the best one to run for him, but he definitely can get a lot more work out of it than Rune Blades, who already have access to Crown. And Young Briar again. And our first rare is Weave Ice, nice. And then Oaken Old. Really, really good Majestics we're getting here lately. Really good card for Oldhim. This is definitely a key piece for him, so pulling this, really sweet. It does so much work if you confuse it because it gains Dominate and it makes them lose 2 random cards when it hits, and it swings for a ton of damage. So even if it doesn't have Dominate, 7 is really hard to block. So really sweet card, and a foil rare. Another Lightning Press, and this one is a red, so far better than some of the previous ones we've gotten. So we're getting some work here, and Runaways, which is not a bad generic boot since it can stop any kind of damage when a red Overflex. Nice. Will we find a legendary in our last pack? Chances very slim, but it is a Briar pack. She was very good to me at the pre-release. Maybe she will be very good to me again. Starting off with a Shiver and Embodiment of Earth. So, our first of our last 2 rares, we will have Weave Lightning, nice. And the other one is Explosive Growth, also really, really nice. And the final foil is Lightning Surge, which is actually, this is a very good Pauper one because it has ways built into it to go again on its own. It's a 0-cost attack, and the red one does hit for 4, so it makes it hard to block as well. And it is lightning, so this is really, really good for like Briar, especially for trying to give you lightning cards to fuse off of. And another Coat of Frost, so we love to see that. And then just some generically good cards like Rites of Replenishment. So our cold foil, we did get it. It was a hat. And we did pull a decent number of foil rares or rare pluses. We do have the foil Majestic as well. So not a bad haul overall. So Majestics, we did pull 7 when we include the foil. And we did pull quite a number of foil rares, and I'm pretty excited about the foil commons, actually. A lot of good pauper stuff in there as well. So that's our first box of first edition Tales of Aria then.